Okay, so this is how I do the Maul solo farm as a hunter. I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can. So we'll start the clock, start the stopwatch. Now I'm using a green gun until we get to the king. So to start off, you're just going to jump on this little ledge here and run here. This is a spot where mobs, if they aggro you, they'll de-aggro after a little while. They'll just evade bug and you'll drop aggro. So here I'm going to wait, and as soon as I drop combat, I'm going to jump down and summon my pet, and I'm going to put it on stay. So I drop combat there, jump down, put my pet on stay, I'll just heal it quickly. I'm going to send it in on this mob here, using pet attack, use this pet sprint, and then put pet passive so that your pet runs back to where you set it to stay. And then you're going to run past these guys, and you're going to run up this ramp. Your pet normally dies on this pull. Sometimes you can outrange it, but most of the time it dies. You're going to feign death just before you loot the key from this chest. So we feign death here, we loot the key. Then going to run here, avoid this pat. Now if you run directly at this pillar, this guy won't aggro on the left. Then you can turn here, and the guys on the right won't aggro. Oh, sometimes they will. If they do, you can stay on that ledge. It's another safe spot where they'll despawn. You're going to unlock this door. And if the eye's there, you're going to kill it. It's not, so we'll summon our pet quickly. I'm running these talents, 3 in aspect, 31 in marksman, and most importantly you have to have improved feign death. Here we kill its pet, kill its eye. Set our pet there, I've fed him, and I'm just going to heal him here. And start sending him in. Use my pet sprint. I put him on stay back at that ramp, and then pet passive so he runs back to where I put him on stay, just at that ramp. You'll see where he goes back to. You'll get crippled by these doom guards sometimes, just makes you run slow. It's fine, you'll always be able to outrange your pet on this particular pull. There we go, we outranged it. Then here we're going to feign death as soon as you get around this corner. Now you've got about 15 seconds that you can use to summon your pet, heal it up and drink if it needs to be healed. And I need to wait for your feign death to come off cooldown. So as soon as your feign death is about to be about 15 seconds, you're going to send it in on this guy. Use your pet sprint. Then send it in on that guy back there that I just targeted, so that he runs away, and then we should be able to outrange our pet again as soon as we get to this little spot right here. There we go. Then we're going to wait for our feign death. As soon as our feign death finishes, we're going to feign death. Wait for him to cast that shadow bolt. Aspect of the monkey. Put down an explosive trap. I like to serpent sting. Serpent sting that one. Aim multi-shot. Then deter here. Then drag him into the trap. Use a dense dynamite. Then finish him off with Raptor Strike and Mongoose. Then loot all these guys. And if we're quick enough, we can make it here before the pat. So there'll be a pat. One of the bosses here, this guy, guard slip kick. So as soon as he gets past this point here, he's going to go a bit to the right, and then we'll be able to slip in right here behind him. So we slip in behind him, we scatter shot this guy, concussive shot the guy on the right, and we're going to feign death at this spot here and wait for the eye to come down. So you feign here, and there'll be an eye coming down in a second. There it is. Now I like to wait for the eye to just get a little bit, just basically, you'll see right here, the eye gets there, then you can shoot it. As soon as it's dead and we drop combat, we pop an invis potion, and we run up the top. You can see I've got 3 seconds left when I get to here. You can use a minor invis pot. I just use the greater ones because sometimes they just come in handy and they're not that much more expensive. So put your pet on stay down at the bottom of this ramp. You want to put a frost trap up here. First I send my pet in on this guy. Put a frost trap here. I let my pet get close to this guy and I target this guy here. Now when my pet's almost at this guy here, I'm going to use my pet sprint. Okay, this guy aggroed. Sometimes he doesn't, but seeing as he does, I can just pull my pet back and I don't even need to send him on that other guy. You get here and you can either use a large C4ium charge, your pet will outrange. Those guys will all be frost trapped. We did get one warlock who's going to cast on us here, which is fine. Try and line of sight him. He did get a bolt off, but that's okay. I just changed to monkey so that we didn't get dazed. Feign death here, and we've got time to drink, so we need 15 seconds in our feign death. So just going to drink up here, summon our pet, heal him up, and we're going to put our pet on stay back here. And then we're going to send our pet in. I'll just bandage while I wait. Use your pet sprint, pull your pet back, and run through the next feign death spot. Again, you'll be able to outrange your pet here as you get around this corner, and then you can feign death. Again, you get a little bit of time to drink. You just need 15 seconds in your feign death. Put your pet on stay. Just waiting on our feign death here. Then we're going to send our pet in onto this guy. Now this pull doesn't always work. We send our pet in on this guy, and then pet sprint and send it on that guy. Now if your pet gets dazed here, you're not going to be able to do the double pull where you pull both these guys. But my pet didn't get dazed, so I can just run all the way through. I pulled the dogs as well, which is good. Sometimes you won't pull the dogs, you'll just have to feign death and wait for them to leave. But we pulled the dogs and we outranged, so we can go straight to this section and feign death here. So we feign death here, and then we're going to pull our pet out. Now we don't have to kill the dogs. We can just avoid them, we just need to make sure that we know where they are, so I'm just going to mark one of them just so I can see. You're going to come up here and put your pet on stay just before this little rock, this little knob there, and then I like to Hunter's Mark King Gordok. You'll notice I'm using a gnomish cloaking device, that's in case a feign death resists. That works on everything except the dogs. So when I get to about this point here, I'm going to send my pet in on Cho Rush, and when he gets close, I'm going to sprint, and then I'm going to use pet follow, not pet passive, for pet follow, and your pet will despawn, the bosses will aggro on you. I put my pet on stay here. Now I'm just keeping an eye on those dogs, because we want to feign death and make sure that King Gordoth is basically both these two bosses are on their way up when those dogs get around this corner. So I'll feign here. So the main thing you want to be doing now is just putting damage on the king and mana draining the caster. So you can feign death and you can drink in these spots. So this little bush is pretty important. I like to start casting my aim shot just before the king gets there, and that way the king will never reach your pet. So just going to do damage here and mana drain this guy and try hit him before he gets to your pet. You can LOS the lightning bolts that he casts. Whoops. I like to switch to aspect here. I'm going to feign now because those dogs are coming around, and I want the bosses to be up here when the dogs are coming around. So we feign here, and now we just have to keep this caster away from these dogs. So I'm just going to line of sight here while he casts, then let him start casting me again, then line of sight again, and I'm just going to shoot this king so he starts padding back, and now we're just going to get away from these dogs. So let the dogs patrol past. Now they won't come back for another 7 minutes, so we're safe. So at this point it's pretty simple. We're just going to keep feign deathing, and they're going to keep running to my pet. You can drink at these points. While you're feign deathed, and then again we just start casting aim shot on the king just before he gets to that bush, into multi shot, into serpent's thing, and mana drain this guy. Get an arcane shot there, and just keep mana draining the caster. You don't want to let the king get too close to you, because the king will charge you, so just feign death before he gets close enough, or line of sight him so that he can't get the charge off. Here we're just going to mana drain again and hit him before he gets to your pet. They can hit your pet a couple times, it's not gonna kill you. Okay, so here this is a little, sometimes this happens where the king will aggro on you when you shoot the caster, and all you got to do is just kite and switch aspects from aspect of the cheetah to aspect of the monkey if you're going to get hit. But see here, I've just got my feign death back off cooldown, so I can feign here, and they'll both run back to my pet. Now you don't want to get up with your feign here because the king will charge you, so you want to wait till he's out of charge range, and then you can stand up again. So right about here, I'm just going to get one tick of drink, then mana drain this guy, shoot him so he doesn't hit my pet, LOS him. So sometimes the king will aggro when you shoot Cho Rush, it's just a bug. I'll switch to my Dwarven Hand Cannon now. The only reason I don't use Dwarven Hand Cannon normally is because, now I'll just explain something quickly here in a sec. You can get hit by this caster a couple times, it's not a big deal. But I don't use my Dwarven Hand Cannon when I'm clearing the trash, because the proc breaks the scatter shots and that can mess me up, so I use just a green gun, as you don't need the damage anyway. And mana drain Cho Rush again. Oh yeah, and you'll notice if the king gets past these bushes and I haven't started casting aim shot, then I'll just multi-shot him here to make sure he doesn't hit my pet. And you don't lose that much damage, you can still cast an aim shot. I used arcane shot by accident there, but you can still get an aim shot off there. And I should be in aspect of the hawk as well at this point. So this will be the last mana drain I need on Cho Rush. You'll keep mana draining him, but it's the last one that I need to make him immune for now. You want to get him immune because he can heal the king. With the mage it's not so important, but it also just makes the fight easier once they're immune. So this is definitely not the quickest king fight. So I started casting aim shot before he got to the bushes, so he won't hit my pet. And I'll just put another mana drain on Cho Rush, and keep casting on, keep stutter step shooting the king. You can do this as slow as you like. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to get heaps of damage on the king. You can take this really slowly, and you're still going to get the job done. So again, just Viper Sting to mana drain that guy, and then start casting a arcane shot on the king here. I'll pop my rapid fire here. And then again we'll feign. I like to feign out of line of sight because sometimes if you feign out of line of sight and they resist your feign death, they won't aggro you. So I always try to just get out of line of sight. I never really want to let the king get too close to me. So here we're full mana, we can start casting up an aim shot. Multi-shot will hit both of them, so there's no reason for me to... I have to drain this guy. He does hit me here, but it's all good, it's not that much damage. And then we feign here again. Drink. And this will basically be the kill. I think we might have one more feign after this. So just mana drain that guy so you can't cast. Now see, I got the bug again with a king linked, which is fine. I can just kite him here. And try to get some damage on him too. He might charge me here. This is actually a bad spot to get charged if he does charge me here, because he can knock me into the dogs that are behind me. But he didn't charge me, so it's all good. He'll charge me now most likely. I'll just mana drain this guy. And my feign death's back up. So we can feign and probably finish the kill. We'll feign. The king's running slow, so this is cutting into my time a little bit. I could have just kited the king, given how slow he's going. I could have just kited the king there around the pole, but for the sake of not wiping on the video, I'll keep it going. So I'm gonna wait till this guy gets really close, seeing as they're doing the annoying linking thing. King might aggro on that serpent's thing. He doesn't. Here I can cast my aim shot a little bit later. One, because my pet's health is high, but also because the king's running so slow now. So back into aspect of the hawk, and we'll try to start to step this guy down now. And I'm just gonna let the shaman hit me while I kill this guy. And there's 14, 40. And that's how you solo the king. And then basically you just want to loot the king. Then you want to go down and talk to Captain Crumcrush. Down at that gate there. That'll give you another piece of loot. So I'll just show you how we do that quickly. You come all the way down here. And you can see these dogs are still padding, so we had plenty of time. Plenty of time to kill before the dogs came back and got in our way. But if they come back, you just got to make sure that the bosses are running up on the top of that ledge when the dogs pat past, like you saw me do. So we talk to this guy. That'll give us an extra piece of loot in the tribute chest. And then I'll show you as well quickly where the book location spawns are and where the chest location spawns are. A lot of the chests are locked and you can't open them unless you're a blacksmith, but I don't think it's worth it. So you just talk to this guy, you'll get the tribute chest here. And loot the stuff. Most of it's just vendor loot. You can sell some of the stuff. This chest you can invite anyone in and they can loot the stuff, but I didn't get anything that I can sell. So just this is worth 6 gold 50, this one's worth 6 gold 60, this one's worth 2 gold. So we got a decent amount there. We also got major healing potions. We just got all major healing potions, which sucks. It's not good. You want the mana potions, they sell for a bit more. So there can be a book behind this guy right here. And then let me brag about my time. I'll just let him know. So he was recording a bit. What did he ask me? Lock chests or runs with no chests? No, for can only drop king. I don't think I've ever got a book from tribute. So the king can drop books. I got a for his thing, the Quel'Serah book. I got that off the king. So there can be a chest that spawns behind. Oh, here it is, and it's locked unfortunately, so we can't open it. But there's a chest spawn. There's always a chest on every run, so it's either going to be behind those ogres there. There's 3 possible locations, 3 possible book locations, and 3 possible chests. So I've shown 1 chest, 1 book so far. And then there can be a book under here, next to these bones. There can be a chest right here. There can be... so that's 2 chests I've shown, 2 chest locations, 1 there, 1 up top. A book at the bones, a book behind the mage. And then the last 2 locations for the last book and the last chest are just around this corner to the right. So just up here to the right, there can be a chest just with this group of mobs here, right at this spot, right there. And there can be a book right behind these bushes right here. So before finishing the run, you just want to go to the vendor, and you want to vendor all this stuff. And if you got like a ring, the tarnished ring or the rod, you can sell those for normally 40 or 50 gold. Just advertise in world chat and someone will come in. And normally a rogue can just stealth there. You just got to make sure you kill the eyes. I like to zone out and zone back in. That resets my king buff, so I can just kill the eyes for them. And then you can either just give them 2 invis pots and mark the packs they need to skip. There are 2 packs that they need to skip. You can see them yourself if you just run through, do this again, zone out, zone in, then run through. You'll see which mobs are hostile and which aren't. But so this is the vendor that you can come to. You can sell this stuff. I like to D some of the things. Actually, I think this is it. This is better to D. This bow is better to D. You can get 2 greater eternal essences, which go for 4 gold each from this. or you get one which goes for 4 gold, but you can get 2. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Before zoning out, I like to go refresh my buff from this guy. I mean, you don't have to, it's got 2 hours on it, but whatever. This is the only useful hunter buff. The attack power buff isn't ranged attack power, it's melee attack power, and the spell crit doesn't help anything except arcane shot. So yeah, that's how you do the hunter solo. How you kill the bosses in under 15 minutes. And all the chest locations, all the book locations, the vendor location, and yeah, then you basically just reset. I'm using an alt at the moment, but yeah, reset and go back in. Thanks for watching.